Rice University has been transformed into a canvas for international artist James Surls. 7 large-scale sculptures have been placed on campus near the Brockstein Pavilion, the James Baker Institute for Public Policy, the Jesse Jones Graduate School of Business, and the Shepherd School of Music. The exhibition, Magnificent 7, Houston Celebrates Surls, on display through August 2010, is presented by Rice University, Houston Arts Alliance, and the City of Houston as a project of the Rice University Public Art Program.
Rice is obviously one of the most prestigious universities on the planet. It's a huge, huge honor for me to have this work here. I think it will be a destination. And I think people will come from other places here, specifically to see it. Not even counting the people that come here from around the world that go to the Baker Institute or just to Rice University in general. My sensibility is organic. I grew up in the woods of East Texas, along creeks and leaves and green grass and trees and sticks and rivers and sloughs and bayous. Organic that's my history. So therefore, I think that's my art. My art comes out of that. If you look at a big, long, overviewed survey of my work, it has changed. It even has changed since I went to Colorado. Moving out of the woods of East Texas that was closed, I call it the green envelope. I lived in a green envelope, and now I live in a blue envelope and white sky. Now I can see for 50 miles, 100 miles. It's open, it's a whole different kind of breath than before. I think environment, your terrain, always influences you, always makes you think differently than it. If it doesn't, you're not really absorbing or looking at your terrain. Of course it would have an influence. I will tell you, when I came here, I was green as a gourd. I was young and naive in many ways, and Houston, I think, historically has a kind of a sky's the limit attitude about it. And my feeling was, when coming to Houston, that if you couldn't do it here, you really couldn't do it. Based around a kind of a unique individual relationship that you have with people. But man, Houston is wide open. I get to come home under the most glorious of circumstances. My God, what could be better? Rice University? Are you kidding me? This is pretty good. I think as a so-called professor, you really are only measured by your students. If your students do well, you did a good job. If your students don't, then, well, maybe you didn't really do as good a job as you should have. I love teaching. Teaching served me well. I made as much art when I taught as I do or did when I didn't teach. And I made art in my classroom. I made art right in my environment where I was. And I always thought it was important for students to see me working, see me producing, see me acting in a professional manner and doing things. Just making it's not enough. It's like writing a book that no one reads. It's doing a dance that no one sees. It's writing a piece of music that no one hears. You have to show it.